Here we are, another episode of the free VST plugin detective, where essentially I test out, demonstrate, basically review different free VSTs. And this one is an awesome VST. It is the DSK Saxophones plugin. Now, I want to say that in the beginning of this video, like right off the bat, and I haven't really mentioned this in some of the other videos that I've made, a lot of times I think people have this weird notion that if a plugin is free, it probably isn't that good, right? Maybe it's human psychology or economics or whatever the case is. And I want to say that a lot of these plugins that I reviewed in this series are incredible. Some of the best plugins and a lot of the plugins I use are free ones. And I feel like this is a great example of that. My overall FRECCERO rating is a 4 out of 5, and I'll get to that as to obviously why. But basically breaking it down, here it is also, you can see it. Here's the GUI, or the graphical user interface. You basically have two options on this VST. You have soprano sax and tenor sax. Obviously now you have ADSR, attack, decay, sustain, release. You can adjust the velocity curve, which I like, whether it's normal, weak, or strong. You can add a reverb to it, and then obviously the actual volume level. So I'm going to show you basically how I use this plugin, basically show you how it sounds, basically all the goodies that come with this plugin. Now this is one of my tracks, 4th of July. It was a song I made obviously for the 4th of July. Play you a little bit of it. It's kind of like a... I want to make it super American, so it kind of has like that guitar, almost like that Avicii-ish sound is kind of what I was going for, so play you a little bit. That very like American country, you know, kind of vibe. So because I wanted, obviously, well, it's a long reverb on that vocal atmospheric effect. So because obviously I wanted to have it be American, obviously jazz originated in America, so I want to have a saxophone. And rather than use other samples or hire a saxophonist, I just want to kind of have a brief interlude with a saxophone in it. And that's obviously what I put right here, as you can see with enter. So essentially, for this basic melody, I'm going to solo it so you can hear. Now, this is the soprano setting. Remember, there's two settings on this. You have soprano or tenor. Here's how the soprano sounds. Now, as you can see, and I feel like this comes with a lot of different VSTs, that sometimes when a note is held a long time, it can either make the instrument, especially if you're trying to do an organic instrument, like a saxophone or a trumpet or trombone or an oboe or whatever, the longer the note's held, it really kind of can either make or break how it comes out. And what I mean is that if I were to play this, just like so, put this on. It sounds like a saxophone, right? Nothing too crazy. But if I hold a note, you notice that this plugin, it has that very vibratic effect, right? You notice that in real life, if someone plays a saxophone, they don't just go bum. It's like bum, and they kind of, like say if you're playing a G, will kind of hover a few semitones around that G, right? Singers do this when they sing. So when I play a note, let me play a G, you'll hear, right? The note starts out at a normal pitch, and then the vibratic element kind of comes through. That's what I love about this plugin. I mean, the way it handles the samples and everything, it just sounds incredibly, incredibly perfect, especially mirroring, obviously, like a real soprano saxophone and everything, like... I mean, you can't get better than that. That's what I want to say in the beginning of this video, that, you know, a lot of times people think, oh, well, you know, like it's a free plugin, how good can it be? I mean, DSK is kind of known for making some excellent plugins, and obviously this one, you can't beat it. Now, obviously, like I said in the beginning, also you have these kind of functions. You can do reverb. I prefer using Ableton's reverb because also you can parallel process it. This reverb, you really just turn it up and turn it down, right? You can't really get any technicalities with the reverb, but if, like, say, you just want to add a quick reverb on it, you can do that. The velocity curve, I really like that. So velocity is essentially the intensity of the intensity that a note is played. So what I mean is that if I, like, say, had a saxophone, like, say I had two people, and I had a saxophone, and I played a G, and I went bum, and I played a G. And then the other person go boom, and they try to play a G as loud as they can. Now, obviously, number 2 is going to be louder. But if I were to bring it down, you notice that even though at the same level we're both playing a G, because the velocity or the intensity that the note is played on the second saxophone is stronger, the note's going to sound a little bit different, right? Just different elements of it are going to be changed just a slight bit. So obviously in Ableton, when I play, I don't think I did this on this track, or did I? No, I didn't. But you can adjust the velocity here. And what's cool is that obviously on this plugin, you can adjust how intense the velocity curve is. So normal being normal, and obviously weak and then strong, meaning that when I adjust these, so let me show you. So I'm going to do this. And this is going to mirror, because obviously think about when someone plays an instrument, they're not playing it with the same velocity. It's going to go like, boom, boom, boom. Right? It's going to kind of sound like, I can't sing, but you get what I'm saying. So like bring this down, so it's going to sound like this now. Right? So now, not just the volume is different, but the velocity is different too. Now, obviously, I have it on normal setting, but I can make it weak, where if I adjust it, it doesn't change too much, or I can make it strong. So to show you the spectrum, right, you notice the velocity, the difference is huge, right, from this note to this note. Now, if I put it on weak, though, you're going to notice that there is a difference, but not as much. Right, it's a very weak velocity on the intensity that note's played, and obviously the timbre of the instrument is different, right? Because obviously when it comes to the velocity curve, some saxophonists play very different, and you notice that normal, weak, strong, right? So the idea that the saxophonists, are they using an intense velocity when they play, or are they using, you know, not as intense velocity? And obviously, it may just sound like to a quick listen that, oh, well, it just sounds like the volume is being a little bit different. But it does affect the velocity, and obviously, like I said, this is also what people might do, is it might make it more drastic using these here if you want to. And obviously, this is typical when using kind of any percussive instrument or anything like that you want to kind of humanize it, so to speak. But you can obviously do that right within the DAW. You don't need to do this. Actually, right within the plugin. You don't need to do this in the DAW like you normally would, which I kind of really like. I like that obviously you can adjust, you know, because obviously some saxophone players play their saxophones really intensely. Other ones don't, right? So that's a kind of a really cool function, if you like, on this plugin. Now, the reason why I give it a 4 out of 5 is this. The soprano setting is amazing. I do not like the tenor setting. I feel like, you know, when I use this plugin, 100% of the time, it's only for the soprano sax option. I don't really use the tenor one. So I'll play it for you so you can hear it. It's too high, let me see. To me, it sounds too, almost like Casio keyboardish, right? It sounds a little too, just not real to me. I'm going to put this down an octave just so you can hear it kind of. You know, like I said, not bad, obviously. Like, you know, if I play a note. Right? Like, it's not horrible, but I feel like it doesn't have that, the sound that soprano has. At least for me, again. Everything when it comes to making music is personal preference. I just feel like when I do use this plugin, like I said, I rated it 4 out of 5 because obviously there's a lot of features, like I said, everything from just the sound to obviously the way the samples are handled to the, you know, the velocity curve, which is a great feature, the reverb, if you really just want to, you know, turn that knob up and you don't have to worry about, you know, doing all this kind of stuff. But for me, the tenor sound, and maybe I played tenor saxophone for years, so maybe that's why I'm so heavily biased on a tenor sound, but for me, it just doesn't do it for me. But on the soprano, obviously, that to me sounds way more rich and just a way better sound. Again, just personal preference. And obviously there's some ways you can adjust it. Like maybe with the tenor I can adjust the attack or something along those lines to make it really have a bit more of a realistic, humanized element to it. But besides that, you know, great plugin. Definitely cannot suggest enough to check it out. Obviously for all these videos, it's free. So you can't go wrong, right? Download it, put it in your arsenal, in your plugin list, and mess around with it, right? Like I said, for me, I found that, especially for this plugin, I like it with held notes better, right? Like, I don't think I do like a... It's not bad, but for me, I like the almost the legatic, or having a legato feel to it, where it's like this. Let me push it back up. I feel like that really brings out the notes more when the notes are held, as opposed to like quick stabs or more maybe staccato, or having staccato within the notes, if that makes sense. But hope you guys like this video. Definitely hit a like and subscribe. Also, I do these free VST, basically detective videos a lot. Obviously, I explore so many different ones. It's crazy. There's like hundreds of free VSTs out there in every way, shape, and form. From not just instruments, but you have organic instruments, synthesizers, other, free plugins that can do things like compression, EQing, spectrum analysis, everything that exists in production. There's some free VST for it. And obviously, in the series, I basically discover all of them, or as many as I can. I don't think I could ever get to all of them. There may be too many, but who knows, who knows. But hope you like this video. Definitely hit a like and subscribe. And in addition to, if there are any free VSTs that you'd like me to explore, like me to review, definitely post it in the comment section below.